Hello all heroes and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe, or if you're a first time player, welcome to Invincible Guarding the Globe. Ever since the release of Season 3, I have had some confirmed sightings of some new players to the game. If you have just started this game, probably as a result of Season 3, welcome. Welcome to our modest but passionate little community of Invincible fans. This is going to be an updated beginner's guide. I'm probably going to make this front and center on my channel and everything, but the game has been out for over a year now, and that means it's been over a year since my last beginner's guide, which means there's quite a lot to discuss. In some ways, there have been a lot of improvements or changes, and some things are still the same, which is not necessarily a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that is the fact. Some things are improved, some things are the same, so there will be some overlap with my previous video, like a year ago. But regardless, it's time to give a beginner's guide a coat of paint. So, if you are a new player, I hope this helps you out. Or if you're a player who just likes to hear me talk and you've been with the game for a year, then hey, enjoy. So, the first thing that you are going to see when you log into the game, aside from the little cutscene of them beating snot out of Flaxons, is you get to use Duplicate and Rexplode. They are going to take you through the tutorial with those characters. Rexplode and Duplicate are considered rare heroes. If you've played games such as AFK Arena, you kind of know them as your typical fodder heroes. Those are the heroes that you usually use to power up other heroes. That will, of course, take you through the story. There are seasons, quite a few seasons now actually, if you're starting. You'll go from intro to superheroing to meat of the issue to the twins, yada yada yada, going through the chapters. Each chapter mission will get more and more difficult. So of course, you're going to want to build your team. My first big tip here. Focus on 5 heroes. Just 5. And try to diversify. Now what I mean by that is, in the game you'll notice there are 4 factions. There are the GDA agent heroes, characters that tend to work pretty closely with Cecil, Robot, Duplicate, Monster, a lot of the new Guardians of the Globe. We have Earth's Defenders, characters that are heroes but not always affiliated with Cecil necessarily. Adam Eve, Invincible, Omni-Man is considered on here. Also some Guardians of the Globe like Red Rush, Green Ghost. I know that can be a little confusing because the Immortal is actually a GDA character, but regardless, that is a designation. We have From Worlds Beyond, who is typically considered alien characters. We have some Viltrumites. We have the fan favorite Alan the Alien, Battle Beast, Universa, characters who come from space, hail from the stars. And then, of course, we have the criminals, characters such as Titan, Doc Seismic, Maulers, Angstrom. Characters like that, the Earthlings who are bad, the bad people. That is your factions for the game. Nice and simple. Try to diversify your factions when you are building. Now, you need a team of 5 to plow through the campaign missions, plow through the Cecil's Nightmares, which you'll unlock along the way, and of course get your foot into Arena. Thankfully, there are a few freebies that you do get pretty early on. You do get a free copy of the Immortal, who is an elite character. The Immortal is a tank that, at the beginning of the game, was nothing crazy, but now he's actually turned out really good. He holds his own in Arena very nicely. And you do get also a copy of Robot from some new agent quests, assuming nothing's changed there. Robot is one of the best supports in the game, and the Immortal is a very good tank. Build those two. Just build them. They are extremely good. They are very much worth building. Now, when I say building, what do I mean by that? Each character has a ranking. And that ranking, or that rarity rather, influences what their maximum level is. there's a lot of rarities. The highest rarity that you can normally pull is Elite, but then you'll need 2 Elites to form an Elite Plus, and then from there, it's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into rarities right now. Honestly, that could be a whole nother video on its own, and it probably will be. So, if you want to have a video specifically on rarities, because it will make your brain explode. I'm just going to be totally honest. This is a big boy. This is a big boy. It will 100% make your brain explode when you try to figure out the rarity system. Just know that you basically need copies of characters that you will get through various means in the game to build up your units. So, who should you build in the beginning? Robot and Immortal. You get some free copies early on in the game. They're fantastic characters. No reason not to use them. If we go to the Earth's Defenders faction, I would say either Invincible probably would be your first pick. Adam Eve's not bad either. Adam Eve plays very well with Robot. They've got some synergies that work very well. Or if you get a lot of copies early, you could go for Omni-Man as well. Those 3 Earth's Defenders are fantastic. Invincible is the end-all be-all of damage. He's got strong abilities, some invincibility effects that will trigger when he gets on low HP, which basically makes him untouchable for a few seconds. Adam Eve, as I said, is a fantastic support. The kicker with Adam Eve is that she does need some skill ups, which you're not going to get early on. Like I said, we're keeping this to a beginner's guide. So we're going to focus on the beginner experience. You're going to see that these skills can be upgraded. Don't worry about that right now. Your focus is just building, increasing the level of 5 heroes. Don't worry about these skill ups. Don't worry about that right now. That day will come when you are an intermediate player. Right now you are a beginner, you are a baby hero. Don't worry about that right now. Just keep it easy, keep it simple, because you will have more than enough on your plate as is. So, for the Earth's Defenders factions, either Invincible, Adam Eve, or Omni-Man in that order, depending on how it goes. Now, for From Worlds Beyond, I would personally recommend Universa. Good news is, I have a code that you can use. ShovedYT, SHVDYT. If you use that code, you will actually get a free Universa copy. If you need to use a code, you click on the top left level button here, go to verification code, hit generate to get your verification code, and then go to use code. That will take you to a website where you will be able to use the code. Again, I repeat, ShovedYT, SHVDYT to get a free Universa copy. Universa is one of the best damage dealers in the game, hence why I put her in my code, because everybody should have a copy of Universa, period. The end. If you don't get a lot of Universa copies, you could also go for Alan. Alan is a fantastic tank. So those 2 for your criminals. Now, or for From Worlds Beyond. Now for criminals, you kind of have only one option. Doc Seismic. Doc Seismic is the best criminal by a hilarious margin. The kicker with the Maulers and Angstrom is that they're meant to work together. It means they form a really good team. But it also means you have to build them as a full team, which takes a lot of resources. Again, beginner. You're not going to have that many resources. Go to Seismic. Just go to Seismic. You could go Powerplex, because Powerplex does seem to be very good, but he's a brand new character. Further on down the road, if you see this video like a month from now, he might be in some kind of rotation. Hard to say. But for the criminals, Doc Seismic is like your best by a hilarious long shot. So, that's what you have there. If you go to the right of your screen, you have missions. You do have daily missions. These will reset every day, and funny enough, for me, they're actually about to do a refresh because it is about that time, funny enough. For those of you who are keeping track, I've pretty much recorded 3 videos in the same day. So, you know, to peek behind the curtain a little bit, I've been a busy boy because, you know, I actually have time for once, which does not always happen. But you will see that oh, there we go. Okay. You'll see that you get weekly missions Oh, and here we go. And daily missions. Lost my mind there for a second, but that's okay. We're going to get our... Yeah, that one's already claimed. That's fine. We're going to get our rewards there. And then we have our daily missions, buying items from the shop, reinforcing gear, yada, yada, yada. This is where you'll get a nice chunk of your resources. XP, gems, dossiers. Now, what do you use that for? Let's talk about gems and dossiers here for a second. We have the shops. This is, for lack of a better word, the gacha of the game. It's different from standard gachas that you may have seen, because you'll actually notice that we have 5 heroes here. It will always show 5 heroes, and if you use a dossier, it will go click, 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 and then randomly choose one of the heroes. Or if you use a gold dossier, it will just give you all 5. So you kind of get to see in advance what your random luck has pulled before you actually use your pulls. Now, of course, where's the catch? How does that, like, update? Well, you might notice these 2 things down here. The refresh now button and the automatic refreshes. Every hour, this shop refreshes. Same goes for a lot of the other shops, which we'll talk about in just a second. Every hour, this will refresh to a new group of 5 heroes. Alternatively, you could refresh using your gems. Gems are these little pink diamond looking things. They are the main currency of the game. Premium currency, every single game has one. For this game, it's gems. You can do a refresh with gems. Like, for example, if I hit this button right here and now, I will spend 20 gems to do a refresh. Assuming my internet lets me. It's been a little slow lately, but we're back. Game freaked out for a second there, but that is okay. So, as I was saying, you get refreshes. Now, every single day, you actually do get a few free refreshes, as you can see right here. We also have the countdown that is, and actually kind of works out for the timing of it, that just hit 0. So we get a new batch of heroes. No elite heroes here, so I can do my refreshes. You get 3 freebies every day. We're going to keep going here. And look at that, we have ourselves a Shrinking Ray. That is an elite hero. So, let's say that I want this Shrinking Ray, but I don't necessarily want everyone else. I would not want to use a gold dossier here. The gold dossier will pull everybody. It's a pretty rare resource. Don't do that for just anything. Save it for when you get like a lucky pull of like 2 or even 3, especially if you get 3. That's a good pull right there. But if it's just the 1, just use your blues. So, we're gonna click, 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 click here. And we actually got pretty lucky there. That was a 20% chance, and we just so happened to pull the Shrinking Ray. I have had times, many a times, you can go back to my summoning videos on different events. We have had times where it's taken me all the way up to 5. That feels bad, but it happens. Every time you summon, you'll notice the shop level bar at the top here will go up by a little bit. Starting out, you will be at shop level 1. Obviously, makes sense. As you summon, you will go to shop level 2, then 3, then 4, etc, etc, etc. You know how to do math, Elmo can count. As you go up, your chance of getting elite heroes will increase by a certain amount, which will of course be divvied up between all of the heroes available in this shop. The higher your shop level, the higher the percentage of pulling elite heroes. Now, you're going to be tempted to use your gems on refreshes. I did that a lot, and you can do that, but you'll notice something here. If you hit the refresh now button, the price will increase. I just spent 20 gems there. Now, if I wanted to refresh again, it would cost me 25 gems, then 30, then 35, etc, 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 ad infinitum. Don't use your gems on refreshes. You don't need to. For a couple reasons. One, there's just better things to use your gems on. There's events like the current new character event going on right now. You can use your gems to get the resources needed for these events. The new character events are probably the biggest thing to save your gems for, pretty much indisputably, if I'm being honest. Second thing you can use your gems on, sometimes there are other just random little deals in the shop. You'll notice, of course, as is typical of any gacha game, we all know what we're signing up for here, they have a store. The store, of course, has real money stuff. However, it has gem stuff too, actually. Like for the current new character event, there are some offers here with gems. Sometimes if you go to some of these other tabs, there's occasionally gem deals. Not all the time, but sometimes. Like, okay, down here, we have gems for some rare heroes, which you can use to upgrade your other heroes. We talked about that earlier in the video, how there's different rarities. This is kind of one of the many places you can use your gems on, but quite frankly, it is highly recommended to save your gems for these new character shops. Bottom line is don't use them for refreshes. We also do have an equipment shop here. This is where you can get things like some extra XP, some gear, and some artifact parts. Starting out and almost permanently, if we're being honest, you're only going to want to focus really on one thing, and that is the XP. Hero Special XP and Hero XP. Those two are almost exclusively going to be the only thing you focus on, because quite frankly, it's the only thing in the early shop that's worth anything. You've got your gear here, don't bother. Don't really never bother with gear until you start getting up to seismic stuff, and that's not going to be for a while. You won't get seismic gear until you hit level 7, and even then it is a rarity. So don't worry about that. And here's the thing with artifacts. Artifacts are odd in this game, as you need 50 copies, or 50 parts rather, 50 shards, I guess, of the artifact to actually use it. And then you need more shards of the artifact to power it up, etc., etc. Don't use your resources to get artifacts. It is not worth it in the early game. You'll get there when you get there. For now, just focus on, not gear, definitely not. Just focus on Hero XP and Hero Special XP. Why, you may ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because it circles into the next little topic here, and that's actually upgrading heroes. Because, of course, when you get a hero, they're going to be chilling at level 1. Obviously. You need the blue XP and the pink XP to power them up. Every 20 levels or so, it's kind of like a level breakpoint. So you'll level, like, for example, if I wanted to power up this duplicate, I would power her up all the way. Let's actually get a different example. I don't want to use that duplicate because I have no desire to power up duplicate. Here's one we can power up, my Cecil Stedman here. We're at level 1. So, you hit level up, power him up a little bit, go all the way up to level 19. This is a breakpoint for your XP. Now you need a slightly higher amount of the blue XP, as well as the Hero Special XP, the pink XP. These two currencies are your primary currency for leveling up heroes. Technically gold as well, but it's pretty small. I've rarely, if ever, had a shortage of gold, even in the early game, to power up heroes. But it's these two. The 2 XP forms are what you need. Sometimes you'll be short on the blue XP. Sometimes you'll be short on the pink XP. It's kind of a matter of circumstance. But point is, you hit those breakpoints, get over that point, then you keep leveling up. Once we go through another 20 levels, boom, hit another breakpoint. Get used to that cycle. You're going to be seated a lot. A whole lot. Because that is the primary method of getting characters powered up. In addition to that, there's gear, there's artifacts, there's skill levels. Don't worry about that right now. Don't think about that. That's intermediate stuff. We're focusing on beginner. This is Invincible GTG 101. Don't worry about that right now. Just focus on actually powering your heroes up. Important note: when you are ranking up your character's rarity, be careful. There is not a salvage feature in the game as of yet. Why do I say that? Because if you power up a hero erroneously, up to, say, Epic, that's the orange one here, they are stuck. You will notice I have that Invincible, and this Invincible. I cannot shred the spare Invincible yet. Don't go any higher than Exceptional Plus, which is pink, unless you plan on keeping that hero. You'll notice here, Elite, Elite Plus, Exceptional, Exceptional Plus. Don't go higher than Exceptional Plus unless you plan on keeping and building that hero. And definitely be careful with the auto rank up. You will notice on the rank up tab here, there is an auto rank up. This thing is dangerous. Very helpful, but also dangerous. You'll notice here, all these, easy peasy. We're just getting to Elite Plus, no problem. That needed to happen. This is dangerous. Watch out for this. I'm going to uncheck all of these. Uncheck certainly the Lucan who's going to be going up to Epic, and I'm going to uncheck everybody who's being put in Exceptional as well, because it is not efficient. The auto rank up is specifically just for the easy peasy obvious ones in the very beginning. Be careful because you can really screw over your account with that. Nothing's irreparable, but I've done that before where it's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, and then you're stuck with a spare duplicate, which is fine. So yeah, that is the gist of it. As you do play through the game, you will unlock GDA Ops. We go in here, and this is the primary method, kind of the idle part of the game. This is the primary method to get your currency. Each of these have different time limits. As you rank them up, you can send in a full team. Your first one will be turning up the heat here, as well as a few others. As you play through it, you will get currency to actually power up the op. As you do level them up, you will get more rewards. You'll see, of course, I have everything unlocked, obviously, but when you're a new player, you'll see certain things that are like, Guardian Globes, like level up, down, or reach, wave something something, or rank something something in Downtown Destruction to unlock the next GDA op. So it's kind of a progressive thing that you will unlock. This is the next bit to focus on as a beginner, are these GDA ops, specifically Train and Gain and Downtown Destruction. Those two are the most important. Early game, mid game, late game, doesn't matter. Grind those and never ever stop grinding those, period. Because yeah, you will now and forever need that XP. The grind is eternal. Alternatively, you could go for Reaniman Rampage, or not alternatively, in addition to, you could go for Reaniman Rampage if you want some faster stuff. But then the other important one is this is heavy, because that actually gives you the currency to rank up all of the GDA ops, and that's very important. So yeah, that is kind of the stopping point for the beginner's guide. Once you start thinking about things like Cecil's Nightmares, Multiverse Arena, you're starting to get a little more into intermediate territory, but also by that point, you kind of start to figure out the gist of the game. But I hope that this has been helpful. Have I hit everything? No. No. I promise you there are things I have missed. Go down to the comments section. They are extremely helpful. Alternatively, the Discord. There is an official Discord. If you tap on the little level in the top left, go to social. There is a link, a little button here, to the official Discord server. The devs are there, they are extremely active, and there are a lot of community members, myself included, who are more than happy to provide assistance, answer questions. You're not going to see me a whole lot on the Discord aside from posting the occasional video, just because I just tend to be a bit of a lurker on Discord, but that's just me. There's a lot of good resources on there. There's tier lists, there's guides, there's a lot. And of course, feel free to go back to my previous videos. Not all of them are going to be as spruced up as this one, but that's okay. Yeah. I think the final piece of advice I can give is patience. Be patient. And this is kind of the case with all idle gotchas, idle RPGs, but in this one especially. It's going to take you a while to get a roster that looks like this. A roster that has a bunch of Omnipotent Plus characters, the maximum rank, and even then I use the word maximum very loosely because there's really no ceiling in the game, for better or worse. Don't freak out that it takes you a while to see your first Omnipotent Plus character, because it will. It will take you a while. But do my advice, save up your gems for like new character events, because they are by far the best way to get heroes. And just be patient, don't crack. There's really no need to spend money in this game to be successful. it will just take you a little bit longer, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, that is about all we have. Let me know down in the comments below. Experienced players, now's your time. Go into the comments below and put in any tips that I might have missed. Here are recommendations, stuff that details that I might have missed in this video. Go down there. New players, go down to the comments, read and see if there's anybody who can answer your questions, or feel free to ask a question in the comment section, and hopefully one of our more experienced viewers can assist you. I'm not very good at answering comments, I'm just going to say that straight up, I apologize. But if this video did help you out, I would appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe. Helps me out a whole lot as I do put out more of these videos for this game that we all enjoy. Because the gist of it is, while it is not breaking new ground, let's not kid ourselves here. We're not exactly reinventing the wheel here, but it is still a really fun game. I mean, like I said, it's not the highest quality game of its time, and it's certainly not the most original, but it is of an IP that we love, which is Invincible, and is not the worst recreation of it. Even if you look at like the character models and stuff and the art of the game, it's not that bad. I mean, it translates pretty well. I dare say it's pretty good. So, yeah, that is all we have for today. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.